Hello, it's Renee, the practical shaman here. I believe that I am live and I wanted to offer you the winners of the contest to win the 7-week Shift Network class, which begins next Tuesday, and also tell you about some other interesting, exciting work that I've been working on for months, and I'm very excited to share on Monday. All right, let's start with a little opening. I'm going to call to the winds. And I suppose I should share this to my other channels in case there's people there. Sorry, we got to get started here. And I'm going to share it to the Wind Clan. I want to make sure people who might have entered can see this. For me, many things have been shifting, and I'm sure that's the same for you. And I keep being reminded by my astrologer friends that we're in the age of Aquarius, the age of air, the age of wind. And one thing that's been moving for me that I'm very excited about is that for the last 10 years, I've been working on the wind work and Winds of Spirit, the Hay House book. Lots of you have read it. Many of you haven't, because I know there's millions of people out in the world. Well, this morning on CNN, there was an article about the wind spirits the in in Iran, in the Middle East. And I was like, wow, I missed those, or those haven't been revealed to me yet. And so here they are. And also, I'm very excited about this new wind work field guide. And for those of you who've been studying the wind for a while, you know that these processes are not only inner, but they take you out. They take you out into nature where really the answers live. And so this book, which I'm offering now on my website, thepracticalshaman.com, and also to uh, to I'll be releasing parts of it with my next week's Shift Network class on finding your direction and changing winds. Very cool, right? Well, I'm also excited because there's people that I had a contest and people entered, and a lot of people entered. Not as many people entered the contest as people who took the quiz, which wind am I standing in? So I'm going to leave that quiz up a while longer and you can go over to my website to find it. But to find out which wind are you facing? Are you facing the east wind of new beginnings, of a lot of mental activity, which was actually surprisingly enough, the least amount of people ended up in that category. Now, it could be a fault with my quiz, I'm not sure, because most people were standing in the South, and which is about emotional needs and desires, taking self-care. And then a lot of people ended up in the West, which is physical ending, harvest, change, death. And that makes a lot of sense for what's going on in the world. I think we're at the end of an epoch, which is probably moving from the West to the North as I speak. And a few people were in the North. I mean, over 1,000 people took the quiz. So you can still take it. It's exciting, and find out which wind you're standing in. And that's the basis for the work that's coming up with the Shift Network class. I wanted to take a moment to tell you about this new piece of work that I'm calling Refathering. Although right now it's listed at the College of Psychic Studies as protection, trust, and boundaries. And I think it all fits into the same idea. A few months ago, or a month ago, I had a dream that there was two men sitting on the park bench in front of me, and I'd already gotten this idea about that I had an abject I cringe at authority. And I was thinking about, my bosses that I very rarely showed a lot of respect to. I was a great employee otherwise, and I did what I did. But I was thinking all the way back to fourth grade, I took it upon myself to do exactly what I wanted. Now, Mom, if you're listening, that's because you told me once that I didn't have to do anything that I didn't want to. And so that's where I drew my stubborn line in the sand. But these two men sitting on the bench in my dream told me, Renee, you've done a lot of healing work. And I was feeling, ah, oh, yeah, a lot of healing work, haven't we all? But now you can go deeper. And I thought, like, wow, that was a wake up call and literally woke me from a sound sleep call. And I started to think about what do they mean I can go deeper? And I took that question and worked with one of my teachers with it about, what was this issue with authority? And I see it all over the internet, like people splattering out their viewpoints and having no respect for each other or respect for authority, whether we agree with it or not. Our apparent lack of respect for it is always a mirror of what's going on in our inner selves. And I know that this social media is an amplification of that. Yesterday, there's a person in my life who has a hard time negotiating the world. And he ran out of gas or he hit a bump and it clicked it into not working his car. And here we were standing, the car was right on a place that would be dangerous when it got dark. So I was over there helping him, and it was really great to see three other neighbors and five cars stopped to see if they could help. There was no question about, what are your political views? What are your ideas? Do you support the current president? It was like this man needed help. We were there to help him. And people really went out of their way. Like they drove up to their houses to get the chain, they drove to their houses to get the hook. And, we finally, with the help of four or five neighbors, got the guy's car to the other side of the road where it would be safe until I live on an island, they would get to towing it today. Why is that important? Because this is nature. This is how nature supports each other. This is the work of the winds. And so the winds, how they work me is they always take me deeper. So this place of me looking at um, my lack of respect for authority took me into looking at like, why? How did this happen in my life? And with the study and with the help of my teacher, I got to see that I was on the right track, but I was missing a piece. And so she helped me with this piece, and I will be teaching this work on Monday in a 3-hour class on at the College of Psychic Studies, which is UK based. So it's a daytime class, 10 to 1 Pacific Standard Time. And I think it's work for these times. So I hope you join us. All right. What you probably came here to hear was who are the contest winners? Well, I want to say that oh no. Oh, here they are. So the contest was it was easy enter. You shared it, you got more entries. And I'm happy to say that out of the contest, two people I knew and one person I didn't know. And the key winner, the first winner, her name is Anna Maria Codrano, Codranu. And I will be reaching out to her and hopefully she'll be joining us for the 7-week Shift Network class. And then I was really excited to see the second name come up, Lynn Gerstein. Uh, Gertstein. She's been hanging around with us Windies for maybe a couple years now, and she's really a deep and reverent person. So I'm really happy that she's going to get to go deeper with me. And also, these contest winners are going to get the wind work field guide, which I'm just I'm very enamored with this book, how it goes in and out, and how you can write in the pages. And you can also just go over to my website and buy it right now as well. And the third winner is somebody I've known for over 30 years. In fact, I knew her when I had my first restaurant in Syracuse, and I was happy to see her name come up. So, Deb Ford, you're the winner of the 7 week wind work class. So, I kind of went in and told people she's a painter, and she paints houses. I paint canvas. But so it's Anna Marie Codreanu, Lynn Gerstin, and Deb Ford are the winners of the 7 week windwork class. You can still go over, I'll put a link in the comments to how you can still sign up for this great, great um, class. And, if you do sign up and you use my code, I'm going to offer you the PDF of my windwork field guide. So everyone who registers from now till the Tuesday will receive that windwork field guide. And for those who not take the class, you can buy it on my website. Right. Well, I'd like to thank you and just remind you if something in your life is shifting, if you know it's time for a new direction, if you're ready to become steadier in this chaos and these winds of change, I welcome you to join my work. And, wind work is here to stay. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to call a wind, in case you haven't heard that part before, and call in a Windwalker Wisdom Oracle, which are also the 64 amazing cards that you, the people who studied with me for a while said, "Oh, Renee, you can't even make this stuff up," and it's true. The other day, I was at the New Living Expo in San Rafael, and what a great place it is, and what a really nice expo that was. And I didn't have a booth, I was speaking, and I was meeting people, and I met this couple from Taos, New Mexico. And I once lived in Taos, New Mexico. But on her table, it noticed she was going to Peru too. And like me, she hadn't wanted to go back to Peru for years, and yet Lake Titicaca was calling her. I mean, what are the chances? So I looked down, and she's going the exact same dates as I am. And so I said, "Well, why don't you try my wind spinner, the free wind spinner on the website?" And she was like, "Okay." So she does the wind spinner, and sure enough, each card always right. It just goes, just the way it is. And try it if you don't believe me. But the third card was one of my new wins in the 64 card oracle deck was Wairatata. The first 32, and in the Book of Winds of Spirit we had Wairamama, but this Wairatata came out, and the picture on the card, I don't know if I can find it here, but if you go over and I'll find it and put it in here too, is a picture of Lake Titicaca. And it fell in her future. Like I said, you cannot make this stuff up. So if you're listening to this, and I just got the chills, so I hope you're hearing this message. I hope you're called to the Shift Network class or the Refathering class, Protection, Trust, and Boundaries, I think it's called. Join me, and let's see what the wind wants to do to close this session. So the wind we've got, and I think this is probably what I need to hear, is Sig Gaioth, respect, appreciation for nature's duality. And I think that is such a great message for us all, because today I shared a post on my personal page about people trashing Madonna for coming out on stage at 67 and strutting her stuff like she was 30. And gee whiz, I wish I looked so good. And I loved it. The energy between the crone and the young singer was just amazing. And keep it up, Madonna. You're loved. We support you. Women and men everywhere know that it's the time to heal that broken masculine that tells us it's not okay to go out there in a outfit that you could wear 30 years ago. More power to you. So let's call in that wind and see how it feels for all of you. Mm. Ah, take a deep breath. Remember, the wind has your back. So I hope to see you soon at one of my upcoming events, or follow me on Facebook, or follow the Shaman's Cave podcast. I'm Renee, the Practical Shaman, and excited to be here with you, still being able to share the wind. All right. Have a great